All right, here we go. It is a brand new episode 62 of the Odd G's podcast, exclusively brought to you from the Not For Long Media Group. It's Jason Martinez, and there he is, H. Mays. What's going on, huh?
Not a whole lot, man. I'll tell you. I know a lot of people were digging episode 61 and laughing their asses off at us. But I don't know if I'm going to be able to follow that up with episode 62. There's not a whole lot grabbing me right now.
As Pat Egan always says, Harry, go out, skate your shift, and earn your next one. You don't know if you're going to earn one after this one?
I don't think so. I might be back in the room after my first shift.
You may be stapled to the bench next to the coach.
Yeah.
You keep looking at him, and he's not looking at you to put you back in. You're
right.
Like, geez.
He's not walking up behind me and tapping me on the shoulder.
Yeah. Get out there, Har. Give me a good 40 seconds.
Right.
Spill it.
That's about all I got right now. 40 seconds.
See, I was never a forward, so I didn't sit on the bench unless I was backing up, which in my case was very rare because back in my day, there just wasn't a ton of goalies. So a lot of the teams I played for, especially when I was really young, we only had one goalie, so I played every game. And then through high school, I played every game, whole thing. But I can't imagine what it would be like with you on a hockey bench. It'd be great. With the hockey lingo.
Oh, yeah. I think I'd fit in.
Oh, you'd be great.
Yeah.
You'd be the guy that could do two things.
Mm-hmm.
That could cut the tension with a quippy line.
Like a Jonesy.
Yes. Yeah. But also be like, some of the one-liners be like, you've got to be kidding me.
Right.
Or like you're talking to your line mate. Like you're the 2C here.
I'd be a defenseman or like a fourth line like center or something. Yeah.
Yeah. But like your winger, like you're like, I'm going up the ice. You have got to get up the ice faster.
Yeah, let's go.
Give me an option. That would be great. That would be fantastic.
I gave you a perfect one-timer and you blew it.
Yeah. Jeez. I tee you up for a clapper.
A clapper. I watched that game last night and I tuned away during the intermission between the third period and the overtime and went back to the NBA game. And by the time I flipped back, the game was over. I missed the goal.
Yeah. They ended up with a power play because McNabb, not Donovan McNabb.
No.
Took a high sticking penalty. And then Dallas scores in overtime. The ageless wonder Joe Pavelski, who was donut for this series, picks up the game-winning goal. So
Wisconsin native, I believe.
Yes, and he was drafted in one of the most famous drafts in NHL history.
Really?
The 2003 NHL draft. It is there's still some guys kicking around like Pavelski. And wait to hear some of the names in this first round, Harry.
03.
Okay. Marc-Andre Fleury went number 1. Eric Stahl went
number
2. Yep. Eric Stahl went number 2 to Carolina. He was in that series.
Wow.
You also had in that Ryan Suter still playing. Dion Phaneuf was in that. Jeff Carter still playing. Brent Seabrook, of course, retired. Zach
Chicago
Parise,
Blackhawks.
Yep, still playing. But yet Ryan Getzlaf in that first round.
Parise was a Devil, wasn't he? At first.
Who's that?
Parise.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Zach Parise was drafted by New Jersey, then went to Minnesota. Then Brent Burns still kicking around for Carolina.
Yeah.
I mean, Kessler's in that draft. Mike Richards is in that draft for the Flyers. Corey Perry.
Man.
Yeah.
That's like a Hall of Fame list.
Yeah. The amount of players that played over 1,000 games in the draft is crazy. Like Louis Eriksson played over 1,000 games, was taken in the second round. Patrice Bergeron taken 45th, almost 1,300 games.
He's just going to retire, I guess. Did he officially retire yet?
He didn't officially. I think he's going to. I mean, Shea Weber in the second round of that draft.
Yeah. Remember when the Flyers were flirting with him?
Yeah. They had the offer sheet.
Yeah. And what he got? He got over $100 million, didn't he?
They offered him more money than the Nashville Predators were worth at the time.
That's right. Right. I was doing a show with Baldy, and it was during the time when I was splitting the midday shift with Baldy in the morning and then Bruno in the afternoon. I was doing a show down at the racetrack in Chester, Harris.
Yep.
And that was the day that went down, and I got somebody on to talk about it, and the boss was not happy because he didn't think I should be talking about hockey.
Or Shea Weber?
Yeah.
Who is he? Yeah, Joe Pavelski in that draft, Harry.
Yeah.
Taken the 7th round.
Wow.
1,250 games, 449 goals, 552 assists. He's got 1,001 points. Taken 205th overall. That is incredible. There was guys taken in the 8th round. I didn't even have an 8th round. Byfuglien in the 8th round. Crazy draft.
Yeah, that Jason Robertson had himself a game last night. I like watching him play.
Yeah, he was not doing well prior to last night in the playoffs, but yeah, he had a huge night last night and had 2 goals.
Well, nobody's been doing anything for them. I mean, they haven't scored much. I like that Wyatt Johnson kid too.
Mm-hmm. He can move.
Yeah,
and then that other series that Matthew Tkachuk picks up another GWG with 4 seconds left. Unbelievable.
Think about that trade and what that did for that franchise.
Holy. I mean, that was a ballsy move. Like GMs that have huge balls like that, it always interests me because I wonder what the due diligence process was like to go through it. To trade Jonathan Huberdeau, who was a Hart candidate the year prior when they were the President's Trophy winning team.
Right.
They trade a good D, and they get Matthew Tkachuk and sign him to that deal. And the dividends that this dude has paid are unbelievable.
Well, they knew Tkachuk wanted out of there.
Yeah.
And they weren't interested in re-signing Huberdeau at that age to a big contract, I think, because he's like 30, right?
He had 1 year left, yeah.
Yeah. So it kind of just worked out, really, I guess for both teams. I mean, because, Calgary got probably as good of a deal as they could get for a guy who wasn't going to re-sign.
Exactly.
Right.
And that's Calgary, everybody was looking at Brad Treliving, the GM there, and going, man, executive of the year. He loses all those guys. He loses Gaudreau. He ends up losing Tkachuk, and he turns around good, but they ended up missing the playoffs. They fire Daryl Sutter. The GM, Brad Treliving's gone. He resigned. So they're in a total shitstorm. But look at Florida. I mean, they're in the Cup final. Bob's playing excellent.
Yeah.
He wins a Conn Smythe, and they win the Cup. I mean, I think he may be a Hall of Famer.
Wow.
Yeah.
2 former Flyer goalies on that squad.
Yeah. Yeah. Alex Lyon as well. Yeah. Good on him. I'm rooting for Florida. I usually don't root for anybody, but I can't help but get caught up in what they're doing. It's been so much fun.
They're a wagon.
They are a wagon,
as you
right
say.
Now. Yeah. I mean, they get in this. How about 2 8 seeds in conference final in both the NHL and the NBA? This is rare air.
It really is. And I guess both in Florida.
Both in that Miami, that Miami market, basically.
Right. Now, I kind of saw the Celtics winning game 4 because of how they got embarrassed in game 3.
Yeah.
And I figured that they'd have one good game in them. And then I figured that they could go back home and have a really good chance to push it to a game 6. And that's what happened. But now they're starting to get a little bit of momentum now. And they shut down Jimmy Butler. They put Williams on him for a good bit in that game. That guy played only 18 minutes and was a +10. And he doesn't score. I mean, so he was a defensive stalwart on Jimmy Butler for a good bit in that second half. And man, they shoot the ball the way they did last night, they're going to win game 6.
Yeah, and then game 7, all the pressure goes right to Miami.
Yeah, I mean, this Derek White, he did nothing against the Sixers in that series, but him and Marcus Smart combined for 10 of 14 from beyond the arc last night.
Jesus,
10 of 14.
That's unbelievable. See, that'll just kill a team.
Yeah,
you 10 of 14 is just insane.
Yeah,
you'll trade baskets if you're getting 3s and they're getting 2s. Oh my goodness. Yeah. So you think the Celtics come back and win that, Har?
I'd like to see Miami because I think their coach is terrific, and I think he's going to figure something out as a way to get Butler going again at home. And I think
Butler will figure out how to get Butler going again.
Yeah, too. Butler will get his own ass going.
Yeah. That's the one thing you don't worry about with Jimmy. Like, he may be stymied for a couple of games, but he's going to find a way to just put the game totally on his back.
Mm-hmm.
He's got to. So we were talking before the show, there's really not much going on right now. Are we in the dead period already, Harry, waiting for the NBA trophy and the cup to get handed out?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's like, that lull after the NFL draft.
Yeah.
That's totally worn off by now. You had your Aaron Rodgers going to the Jets and all the stuff in the NFL is just kind of, this is the one time a year where the NFL really has nothing going on.
Yeah. They have their OTAs or mini camps.
Yeah. And that's, somebody's going to, is somebody's going to skip OTAs, or that becomes the news. It's not actually what they do in the OTAs.
Yeah. Is Carrie Williams going to show up, Harry, or is he going to be shopping for sconces?
Sconces. Remember that? Sconcegate.
Mike was outraged.
I know.
Oh, and the thing is he came on. I got Carrie Williams on when that happened. Eagles were none too pleased with me. Like usual.
Well, yeah, they were never happy with you.
Yeah, but he skipped, and I got him to come on. I obtained his number and texted him. He came on. He's like, and he told Mike, like, in my life, I'll do what I want. If I want to shop for sconces, and Mike was outraged. He couldn't believe it. He was so angry. I'm like, it was voluntary minicamp.
Right.
He said, I voluntarily didn't go.
Right. Right. But the funny thing is, I mean, what he was doing, as opposed to going to minicamp, he's out shopping for, I didn't even know what a sconce was. I had to look it up.
You're not a sconceman?
No.
I had some nice black iron sconces in my my place in Old City.
Oh yeah. Where do you shop for a sconce? Is that like
I think I ordered it, Harry.
Oh, okay. Is that like a restoration hardware type of item?
Yeah, but I had a exposed brick wall in this big room when you walked in.
Yeah.
It had like 15-foot ceilings. It had a big pool table in there. So I mounted some sconces. They were candle sconces. They're not lamps. I didn't have them wired. And I wired them right into the brick. They looked fantastic.
Wow.
Yeah. That room looked kind of like a medieval dungeon with a pool table. I had the ox blood felt. I didn't go with the green. Yeah.
Did you have a nice like a suit of armor in the corner of the room?
I did not, but cousin Ed, who lived next door, did. He had like a helmet in there.
Somehow I knew that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were you in there one night, Harry? One of those late nights?
I don't think so. But I was in a place similar to that down in the city back in the day.
Playing pool with Baba Booey.
Yeah.
We had a real late night with Gary Delabate when he came in town one time. Yeah. He came in when I was working. This was when I was working at YS
What was he like to hang out with?
Oh, he was awesome. Gary's
he?
Great.
Yeah.
When you and I worked together, I texted him a few times to get contacts and people's numbers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and he would get back to you right away.
Fafafui.
Yeah. Papa Booey. I should text him for Earl Bailey's number, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, because I want to get Earl Bailey on.
Yeah.
I listened to him on Sirius XM in the deep tracks, and I just think he's got the greatest pipes. And he was one of those great old WMMR disc jockeys back when radio was really radio.
Yeah.
In the 80s.
When it was an art.
Yes. Yeah. It's totally ruined now. I feel bad for the young people of today because they never experienced that.
Yeah, because it's all about getting to the next song quickly.
Yeah, and it's all garbage now.
Yeah. The only guy that's the throwback is Pierre, who kind of does what he wants and he'll meander all over the map.
Yeah.
In between songs, and he gets away with it, but most people won't get away with it because, the data, Harry, the analytics of radio show that when on a music radio station, the DJ is talking, they're flipping the channel.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Like Big Boss Nahagians would be click.
Yeah. Get back to the Eagles. Click.
Play the hits.
Yeah. It's amazing. So, yeah. Earl Bailey, he's one of those guys that's got that voice that you would never expect he looks like he looks.
Unbelievable voice. He might have the best voice that I've ever heard in radio.
Yeah. It's a big one. It's a good one.
Yeah.
That's kind of gone away too.
What's that?
Like the big voice guy matters. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you don't have many of these guys with the surreal pipes that they used to have. Used to be all about that. It's kind of minimized my career a little bit, Harry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
among other things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like most guys with big voices are like me. They're little guys.
Right.
So when people meet you, they go, I thought you'd be bigger.
Yeah. Well, speaking of jobs, I mean, who's going to take Coates's job?
Why
don't you take that job?
Yeah.
That would be awesome for you.
I should just take that job, Harry, and do it as Coatesy.
That would be great.
Absolutely spectacular.
I mean, until the Flyers get up and going and get back to being a real franchise, that would be some entertainment to tune into, to listen.
I should just take that job and do it as a different person in each game. Like, could you imagine Cataldi doing a game?
Oh,
that'd be great. Look at the forecheck there.
That shift was horrible.
Horrible. That goal that he gave up is horrible. Ow, ow. Yes. You know what I mean? That'd be
Yes.
great.
Oh,
Oh my
hilarious.
goodness. Yeah, I mean, that
Yeah.
would be so dude, I would love that'd be fun to be traveling with the boys.
Yeah, you could go up to the, to Calgary in
Yeah.
January, and you go to the Peg.
If I was doing that job, Harry, and Calgary, like, I would look at the schedule when it came out, and I'd be circling certain dates on it.
Oh, yeah.
Like, Winnipeg in February would be a date I'd be looking
Oh.
forward to.
I mean,
I'd be
Winnipeg.
the only guy looking forward to it.
Yeah,
but-
Winnipeg in February for you would be like, I don't know, me spending a week in the fall at Pinehurst.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you just going to Winnipeg for a Wednesday night tilt.
Yeah,
Against the
exactly.
Jets.
In and out.
Yes.
I'd be pissed, Har, that it would be just an in and out, like in the night before at 2 a.m., out the next night after the game.
Right.
Like, I need a day
Yeah.
to spend in Winnipeg.
Most
See,
people
Winnipeg
want
in
that when
February
they
is
go
Nirvana.
to. Most people want that when they go to play the Vegas Golden Knights, but you want to go to Winnipeg and spend
Yeah.
a couple extra nights.
Yeah, get me out of Vegas. It's too hot.
Yes.
Then
I
I'm
heard
not
there-
even I wouldn't even do the Arizona game.
No. Well,
That
yeah.
donkey arena.
Yeah. The NHL
Mullet.
shouldn't do the Arizona game anymore either.
I don't think the NHL is going to be doing it much longer.
Yeah. I understand that they're already making sort of the logistics stuff is going on out in Vegas for the F1 race.
Oh yeah.
And that's
I
not
can't
for a
wait for
couple
that.
months.
Not till November, as a matter of fact.
Right, but a big one this weekend in Monaco. This is like isn't this like the Super Bowl of F1? This
Yeah,
race?
this is the pinnacle of F1 because this is kind of where it started
Mhm.
in the streets of Monaco.
Yeah.
Now, when it started in Monaco, Harry, the cars were a lot smaller than they are now.
Okay. How
The
long
cars-
ago was that? Like
Oh,
when did this
God.
start?
I mean, I imagine the first Monaco Grand Prix was in the 40s.
The 40s,
around
okay.
there. Yeah. let me
Wow.
look. Yeah. I mean, you got the and a lot of the drivers live in Monaco.
The current drivers.
Yeah. Max
Oh, really?
Verstappen lives there. Charles Leclerc, he lives there.
Verstappen is the prohibitive favorite at plus 160.
Yeah. I mean, he's
Think about that.
destroying everybody. Let me see.
But this is
here.
the kind of race, though, you were saying that it's very hard to pass because of the tightness of the course and so many turns that, like if a Verstappen somehow, gets in the wrong spot, he might have trouble getting to the front, right?
Yeah, this is a race where, basically 1929 was the first Monaco Grand Prix,
wow.
by the way. Yeah. And William Grover Williams won the race in a Bugatti.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, this race is all about Saturday. The race is on Sunday. The race is about Saturday.
So for the
Which
pole,
qualified.
getting to the pole, right?
Yep. It's all
Yeah.
about quali, Harris. They call it in F1 parlance.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, like last year, you can be on the pole, but there was they call them in Formula One changeable conditions.
Mm.
When rain's coming and going, you got to go on to the wet weather tires, get off the slicks. And that's where Ferrari screwed up last year and it allowed Red Bull to win the race. And Sergio Perez, who is Verstappen's teammate.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, Verstappen's just destroying the field. And Leclerc's from there, crashed out in quali in the one, and then it blew up his gearbox, so he couldn't even race this is 2 years ago. But he's a local Monegasque kid. They call the people of Monaco the Monegasque.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That's its own little country, right?
Yeah, I guess so. It's like part of
France, isn't it?
Yeah.
Isn't it kind of on the French Riviera?
Exactly.
Yeah.
You got all the yachts out there and everything. I'd love to go there, but it's insanely expensive. But
Yeah.
It's not the most entertaining race to watch. I will tell you that.
From a
Because-
television perspective?
Well, just from a racing standpoint, because it's neat because it's so tight and you see these cars, in this situation through the streets of Monaco, up and down the hills and around the hairpin and under the tunnel, the whole thing. But there's just not a lot of opportunity for wheel-to-wheel racing and overtakes. And overtakes are fun. So
I got you.
It's kind of predictive, if you will.
What about
still-
this Alonso guy? He's the second favorite, plus 300.
I love Fernando. He's having a
What
great
team
year.
is he with?
He is racing with the Aston Martin team. He's raced with Ferrari, won a couple of world championships with them. way back. He's been around forever. He's raced against Schumacher, great race at Imola at Schumacher in 2004. So yeah, he's fantastic and he's still great. So Spanish driver Fernando Alonso, but Monaco's the one, Harry, on the sim that I can't take. It's just too hard.
Really?
Yeah, there's just
would you crash very early on the sim?
Yeah, because you're trying to pass people when you're racing on the sim, and it's impossible. I got the wheel.
Yeah,
and
put you on the wheel.
Yeah, we'll get you on the wheel. And I end up crashing out in that one all the time, so it's no fun.
Now, will you pay attention? It's Sunday morning at 9:00. I know you'll be watching, but what about the Indy 500? Because that's this weekend.
Yeah, I'm interested in that too. I'm starting to get a little interested in IndyCar again.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I watched the Indy 500 from I think 4 years ago the other night on YouTube. It was actually Danica Patrick's last race. She ended up, I think, having some failure in her car, but yeah, I'll be interested in that because that's different because that's an oval in a way.
Yeah, I went through the list of the drivers on DraftKings. I didn't recognize one of them.
Yeah, you don't. They're not as big as stars as they used to be.
Oh my God, it's been a long time.
Yeah,
I mean, I remember back when I was a kid, like AJ Foyt, Johnny Rutherford, Gordon Johncock.
Yep.
Those guys were like household names back in the 70s for a kid like me. And now I don't know any of them. Like the favorite, Alex, is it Palau?
Yeah, I don't even know.
Palou? He's plus 600. Yeah. I don't even know how to pronounce his name.
Yeah.
I mean, isn't it amazing that a sport like that can just sort of disappear from
the boxing.
It's still here, but it's out of everybody's like consciousness. Nobody pays attention to it.
I mean, that was like the biggest thing Memorial Day weekend. It was like a golf major.
Yes.
Back in the day. That's what it was. And you're right. It just lost so much of it. And they lost a lot of personality, I think, to it.
Yes. And you think about we had the Preakness last week, and that came and went without any fanfare. I mean, the horse racing, the big three races used to be a really big deal, even just a few years ago. Like it became like I don't get that sense that it is right now anymore.
Yeah. I mean, you hear because there's just not enough meat on the bone. You would think in a society of ADD, it'd be perfect because you have all this buildup for the Derby.
Yeah.
And it happens in 2 minutes.
Right.
And it's over. That's the problem.
I know.
It's 2 minutes.
I know.
Like, I need more. Give me, 5-lapper.
That's what the wife is saying. I need more than 2 minutes.
Yes. She doesn't get it. By the way, me and the old lady made a purchase yesterday.
Oh, yeah?
That we're going to close on next week.
Were you going to have a new house?
No, not a new house. We still got the same house, but an off the grid location.
Oh, you get it. Did you get your own cabin?
Yeah.
I knew it.
Yeah. The old lady's doing well. It's like up in the kind of Lancaster area.
Oh.
It's actually about 4 miles from the Maple Grove Raceway, Harry.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's near Morgantown. Yeah.
Yeah, a little further than Morgantown, which is a beautiful area.
Yeah.
Great place.
People up there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when we were driving there, there's this road, and they have these 2 gates that go down on each side and said danger with the gates down. And it's not a railroad track. It's like railroad stopping things. And there's a guy standing there. And then when nothing's happening, because they were doing, I guess, testing for a big weekend this weekend at the Maple Grove Raceway. So we're sitting there waiting. And all of a sudden you hear this car go. And then coming down the road is a funny car with the parachute out.
What? Yeah. Out on the road?
No, coming down like by the road. So if it overruns it, it goes across the road that we were on.
Oh.
But then the turnaround spot's there and a 4-wheeler hooks it up and drags it back.
Okay. Yeah, like Big Daddy Don Garlits.
Yes.
Yes.
Exactly what I said to the old lady.
Yes. I went by his museum. He's got his own museum near Ocala, Florida.
Yeah.
Like right off of Route 301, I believe, or I-75. I think it's I-75. And that's the way I go to drive to my mom's place, and you can see it off to the side. They like a couple buildings, Big Daddy.
Yep, Big Daddy Don Garlits. He was a fucking legend.
Yes.
Yes. T from the 203 says the NHRA, and he goes, John Force. Force is a funny car driver, not a Top Fuel.
Oh, okay. So I never heard of him.
He was like his daughter races now. Allie Force.
Allie Force, not Allie LaForce, who does. She works for one of the networks doing the basketball games.
Allie Force. And look, I'll look up John Force. But he was like a dumpy looking dude, but he was the champion forever.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, he's 74.
I went up there
now.
to
Ashley
Maple Grove. Who? Ashley Force? I went up to the
John
Harley Davidson.
Let me show you this picture.
All right.
Oh God, Siri, shut up. My Siri's clicking on here.
I went to the Harley drags up at Maple Grove probably about 20 years ago.
Yeah, they get the motorcycles in there.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah. So yeah, we got that going on. So the old lady's going to be like working from up there on the hotspot all summer.
Oh man,
it's fucking great. I'll be here. Me and my son will be here hanging out. The whole thing. She'll be up there. Yeah.
Well, how much acreage do you get, or is it just a cabin?
It's There's like all kinds of stuff around it, and woods and hills and lakes and all kinds of shit.
But will you own that too? Like, is it a couple acres?
No. But there's a lot of open land and stuff like that. So it's a cool spot.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So
nice. Yeah.
So the old lady, I had to give her one. Get her one of those, Harry.
Yeah.
So,
oh man.
Yeah. Let's tell the people about Fudge Kitchen, Harry, while we figure out what the hell we're going to talk about next.
Yeah, they're the official sponsor of Not For Long Media and the Odgies podcast. The original Fudge Kitchen is a staple down to Jersey Shore, and it's Jersey Shore time. It starts right now for the rest of the summer. They got 6 locations. You got to hit them up in Cape May, Wildwood, Stone Harbor, or Ocean City. They make all their fudge in the store, guaranteeing a delicious product. Stop by and let them know that N4L sent you. But if you're not able to visit in person, don't worry. They ship across the USA. It's a great gift item. Be sure to check them out at fudgekitchens.com. The original Fudge Kitchen, shipping fudge and sweet treats across the country.
What's going on? What'd you think of the PGA?
I thought it was awesome. I love Brooks
that
Koepka.
whole one.
Yeah, well, that whole story with Michael Block was something like nobody saw that coming. I mean, that guy's just trying to make the cut. Right. Yeah. And trying to be, the number one guy out of the 20 club pros that get invited to the thing by virtue of qualifying. That's all he's looking to do. Well, not only does that, he shoots par the first 3 days and he's in the mix, and he's playing with Rory McIlroy on Sunday afternoon at the PGA, and he dunks it on the 15th hole. I mean, it's like a movie.
Yeah,
it really was. That week for that guy was like a movie. And then I think he did 30 or 40 interviews this past week, and he was on with Bob Menery on his podcast, and he kind of went a little too far.
Oh, he did.
He got a little carried away with himself, and the golf gods heard it because he was invited as a special invitee to this week's tournament in Fort Worth, the Colonial, by virtue of what he did last week. And he shot 11 over par yesterday. He's in dead last place in the tournament. So I think the golf gods heard him say something on the order of, Menery asked him, like, what separates you from like these big guys on the tour? And he said, length off the tee. And he said, if I could hit it like Rory McIlroy, if I had Rory's length off the tee, I'd be one of the best players in the world. So he minimized it to just the length. And I think, dude, it's a little more than that.
Shot making is what it is.
Yeah.
In all situations and under pressure.
Right. So I think the golf gods heard that.
Yeah,
but a great story nonetheless. I mean, it's really,
you love
really
that
cool.
For those majors, you get those things that, like when Hale Irwin won the Open.
Well, he won it 3 times.
Yeah, that one time when he's just going crazy.
He's running around high-fiving everybody. Yeah.
Around the green.
Yeah. I think he had like red pants on and he's wearing his glasses.
Yeah.
He did not look like a former defensive back in college football, I can tell you that.
Oh, is that right? I didn't know that.
He was a defensive back at the University of Colorado.
Wow.
Yeah, it doesn't and he looks like an accountant, wearing plaid pants, Sansa belts in the 70s and 80s. But Brooks Koepka is unbelievable. I mean, he is. I love watching that guy play golf. I mean, he doesn't let you in to his emotions. He's like, he plays emotionless, and I think it's a huge asset. Yeah, for that sport.
When you can't get overly confident when you're stroking it well, and you can't fall apart. He never falls apart.
No.
That's
He
the
is so
thing.
mentally strong.
Yeah.
And plus his game is unbelievable. But so that was really interesting. But a lot of people did not agree because apparently the ratings were terrible. Like they were the worst they've been in 15 years.
Why is that, Harry? Does that have to do with Live at all?
I'm not sure. Maybe people just don't, Brooks Koepka doesn't bring people to the table. I don't really get it because, but I'm not the guy they're going for. I'm going to watch regardless.
Yeah. You're not a fringe guy. I mean, you're locked in.
Right.
Is this a little bit of Tiger effect too?
Possibly. I mean, Phil Mickelson too was like an afterthought.
Well, he's become polarizing now. He was beloved, and now he's polarizing. He had some interesting things to say, by the way.
Oh yeah, he's constantly going off on people. Let me find this where the ratings.
So I know Phil said that he was railing against the PGA and said some stuff is going to come out.
Well, yeah, he's also there's also a book coming out on Billy Walters. That's going to say a lot of bad stuff about Phil Mickelson too. The final round viewership was down 14% from last year's PGA, and the final round drew the lowest viewership on CBS in 15 years.
Wow, that's crazy.
It is
14% year to year is way too much.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. So
could we see the PGA Tour, Harry, for the most part, going by way of the dodo bird like the Indy 500?
No.
Not in your world.
No. The dodo bird.
Remember the dodo bird?
Not really.
Going away like the dodo bird. It's like an old school thing, like the baby boomer generation would say.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that my dad would always say. Make sure you close the door on the ice box.
Oh,
that's what he called the freezer.
Yeah.
The ice box. I'm like, it's not been an ice box, Dad, in a long time.
Someone that did go away, unfortunately, was Tina Turner.
83 years of age, Harry.
83.
Yeah.
Had a great run and sort of had a real renaissance in her career, following the whole Ike situation. And I actually saw her live.
Really?
At the Mann Music Center back in, I want to say 91 or 92.
Ooh, she's at the height of her powers there.
Yes, it was I think it was the Private Dancer period.
Yeah.
Which that was that record that really, peaked for her with What's Love Got to Do with It? No, that was actually 84.
Yeah.
What's Love Got to Do with It? So this was not Private Dancer. This was, man, what would this have been? Simply the Best. Simply the Best was 1991.
Yeah.
Okay. That's when it was.
She could absolutely, watching her live performance. I went down a little Tina Turner rabbit hole the other day. I mean, she was an insane live performer.
Oh yeah. Well, you remember her performing with like Mick Jagger?
Yeah.
Was it at Live Aid? Did she come on stage with him, or he come on stage with her?
It was at Live Aid.
I think it was. Yeah.
Yeah. And she was unbelievable. Just too great.
Because that was Live Aid. What was that? 85 or 86?
It was 85.
Okay, because Private Dancer had just come out the year before, so she was at the peak of her solo career.
Yeah. That is unbelievable. She dies at 83 years of age. It was July 13th, 1985 was Live Aid.
Okay.
So, of course, JFK Stadium and Wembley Stadium.
Mm-hmm.
And did you see
Phil Collins took the Concorde and did both venues? Remember that?
Yep. Flew over. Yeah, absolutely. Did you see the Foo Fighters named a new drummer, Harry?
They did. I don't know. The name wasn't
Josh Freese.
What band was he in?
He's played in a bunch of bands. He was in a band called the Vandals. He played in the Perfect Circle. I know he played a little bit when Travis Barker was out with Blink-182. He's one of those drummers,
Okay.
They did this video to announce him, and they had all these other big drummers coming in. Like, Dave Grohl's always got these great skits that he does. Like Danny Carey from Tool came in and said, "Hey, I groomed your poodles." And Chad Smith from the Red Hot Chili Peppers came in and like brought them takeout. And then they introduced Josh Freese as the new drummer.
Mm.
So people were wondering, wow, look, Chad Smith's there. Is he going to be the new drummer of the Foo Fighters? Or is Danny Carey of Tool going to be the new drummer the Foo Fighters. You're talking about some great drummers there. Like, I think Danny Carey's the best drummer on the planet, but
the guy from Tool.
Oh yeah, he's unreal. I'll send you a video of that guy. There's a drum cam video he does of them performing live, a song called Numa.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that.
Oh, you got to watch him drum though, Harry.
Yeah,
the song changes time signatures like 12 times.
It's like a Rush song.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. It's very much like progressive, like that, progressive rock, and he's unbelievable. They've talked about him actually filling in for Neil Peart and playing with Geddy Lee and Alex Lifeson.
Wow, he's that good, huh?
Oh yeah, I'll send you the drum cam. It's sick. The Vic Firth drum cam. So, all right, we got anything else we want to get to here? I mean, there really ain't shit from going on.
No.
Any movement on the job front, Harry?
No, nothing. I met with a recruiter this past week and went through some stuff. And, I'm just trying to, basically network it.
Yeah.
It's. I mean,
I
applied to Live Golf. I applied to Live Golf this morning.
What, to be a marshal?
To be anything.
Oh, wow.
Communications department. I said I'd relocate tomorrow to West Palm Beach.
Yes. Would the old lady like that?
Oh, yeah.
Would she have to get a new job, Harry?
Well, then we'd probably do, tandem. 2 locations.
Yeah. Wow. That's crazy. I mean, the perfect start date would be to you right after the PGA season ends and the golf season ends here. But if you're down in West Palm, the golf season never ends.
It never ends.
See, you don't go to work and then move to West Palm where you can golf all the time.
Right.
What are you doing? You go to West Palm, take another year. Go down, work a couple months, Harry, and then take a year-long sabbatical.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sabbatical.
And just tell the Lima, say, look, I'm down here in West Palm. I got to get to know the golf courses.
Right.
So I got to delay the job for a little bit.
Right. Yeah, that would go over really well.
Yeah. So when you're leaving for work, I'll be getting ready to go to the course. And when you get home, I've just gotten home from the course with a couple of vodka and crayons in me.
There you go.
So when you get home, you can still make my sandwich.
Right.
After I've been sitting here all day.
Right. Yeah, that would be really good.
You got some network going down there.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
All right, let's wrap it up there. We've certainly done enough work here as Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah.
Any plans for the holiday weekend, Harry?
No, nothing special. I got to start watching the Phillies, I think.
Why?
I haven't been paying much attention to them. They're under 500. They're not playing very well, but I think I got to start watching a little bit.
I feel
out of it.
Don't have to start watching. I mean, baseball, they made the rules changes and I applaud them, but I'm still having a really hard time.
Yeah.
I'm having a tough time with it. It just, I don't, maybe they waited too long for the rule changes for me, but, cause I'm out. Like, I'm just not interested in the game anymore.
I know Trey Turner's catching a little flack here from some of the fan base.
Yeah. He's going to be fine though.
I know.
Sometimes it takes a player a little time to adjust to being here.
Mm-hmm.
This is not easy here.
No, it's not.
And I think people need to understand that. Like, give the guy a little latitude here. Baseball's a long season. Yeah, he signed for $300 million, so he didn't get out of the. How many guys have we seen get out of the gate great and then suck?
Yeah, it can happen.
When you sign him to that contract, and if you applauded it, you're playing the long game with Trey Turner,
right?
So I don't think it's easy. It's one thing I talked to Jonesy about when I had him on the podcast.
Yeah,
I said the biggest asset you bring isn't the fact that you did all those national games and all that stuff. It's that you sat there in morning radio and you knew what the fan base expected, not just from a performance standpoint, but from a communicating our message standpoint. And you're the president now, Jonesy.
Right.
So, don't come on there and say things are great when they're not great because the fan base will flip out.
Right.
I mean, he sat next to Angelo. How could he say that?
What's their first move?
We have the draft coming up.
Yeah.
The first move, oddly enough, is subtraction. It's not addition. It's going to be Kevin Hayes. It could be Provorov, some other guys. But look, new front office and everything. I tell people, caution people, don't expect like some bomb of a move right out of the gate here. They're not ready for that.
Right.
It's not the time to grab a nice sports car and put it in the driveway of your dilapidated house.
Yeah. What's that? Is it Wyshynski that
Greg
covers
Wyshynski?
Yeah.
Yeah,
What is his Puck Daddy or something? I read
He was, on Yahoo. He was a Puck Daddy.
right. He's on ESPN now, right?
Yeah.
I read his article, his column this past week, saying that he thinks that a couple of other hockey GMs are going to be trying to duplicate the Tkachuk trade, and some will get desperate.
Oh, totally agree. Like
Yeah.
Bill Zito was the guy who pulled that trade off of Florida. That's a ballsy move. Like I think you could see a move like that coming out of Toronto. And they lost
well,
their
that's what
GM.
they were. That's the team that he mentioned, breaking up their core four.
Yep. Look, I think there's a point like in these leagues now with 32 teams, you go, okay, I'm going to build this team through the draft and do it the right way, become a playoff team, and then I'm going to have some pain in the playoffs, and then I got to figure out what I need to win there. Because winning in the regular season in these sports is so different than winning in the postseason, as evidenced by
same with the basketball
and the Miami Heat.
Yeah,
like you got to have a guy. Yeah, I have several guys in hockey and some guys in the NBA where they're not daunted by that.
Right.
Like Jimmy Butler doesn't care that it's an NBA playoff game in the sense that it's going to affect him negatively. He looks forward to it. Some guys cower in those situations, Harry.
Yeah.
So
no doubt. Yeah, Brian Cunningham brings up Tina Turner. You Better Be Good to Me. That was a great song. And I didn't know that was from the Miami Vice soundtrack.
Oh, I didn't either.
Yeah.
Yeah. She had some crazy hair.
She did. Well, it's a wig. That's a wig. Yeah, it had to be a wig. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Well,
great legs, too.
That's where I was going next.
Yeah. Yeah.
Great stems.
Yep.
Just great legs on her. And
she had the Beyond Thunderdome, or whatever, but she had a song from that soundtrack, too.
She was in the movie.
That's right. She was in it.
Yeah. She was in the movie with Mel Gibson.
Yeah.
It was like that was the sequel to Mad Max. And she was in that. She was crazy in that. It was good. She was actually good in that.
Really?
Yeah.
Let me see what
you're right. Though.
We don't need another hero. We don't need another hero was the big song from Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome.
Yep. We don't need another hero. That
just like that. Bruce. Just like that.
She was raspy too.
Uh-huh.
Like she didn't have a sexy voice in a soft and sexy way, but she had a raspy, sexy voice.
Yes.
Like she'd rough you up.
Well, she got roughed up, unfortunately.
She did by Ike Turner.
Ike Turner was a creep.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. So.
All right, let's wrap it up there, Harry. That's episode 62. Enjoy the Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah.
The barbecue and the whole thing.
Yeah.
So
I got to get up and check out your cabin.
Yeah, you got to come up. You'll have a blast. Go find a golf course around.
I got family up there.
Oh, yeah. You got a lot of connections up in that area.
Absolutely.
And look, when you're driving up there, you see some of the Amish horses and buggies.
Yeah.
Which I love. So I'm a big fan. Matter of fact, I'm going to the Amish market here, the Westtown Amish market momentarily.
You are?
The old lady who's off today.
You kind of have an Amishman's beard.
I do.
You know,
if I just took off the mustache.
Yeah. That'd be a good look, man. You put on one of those hats.
Oh, yeah.
Like Lebanon Levi.
Yep. I had a guy come out the other day to look at some trees that we're looking to have worked on here in the neighborhood. When we have to take a big ash tree, we have to have taken out because it's half dead.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, I can send you a list of everything we're looking to get done. I can. He's like, I don't have email. I have a phone.
Yeah. How about that?
I'm like, oh,
he's not joking either.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, he was full blown. He had the whole thing, whole get up and everything.
They can raise a barn in a day, those guys.
But they work their bag off, Harry.
Yes, they do.
I'll tell you that.
Yeah,
but I wonder, like, the Amish, like, where does all the money go?
I don't know.
Are they shared pool? Like, they all kick in all the money and everybody lives at the same means with all the money? Because they make the greatest furniture in the world.
Mm-hmm.
I have tons of it in my house.
Yeah.
We go up there to Intercourse, Pennsylvania at the Kitchen Kettle Village, and there's a furniture shop there. Up there in Intercourse.
Okay.
It's great.
How about Blue Ball? You ever been to Blue Ball?
I've been to Blue Ball. That was I was trying to get to Intercourse, Harry. I couldn't get to Intercourse. I ended up with Blue Ball.
You ended up with Blue Ball. Yeah. And then you had Bird in Hand.
Yes. I was trying to get to paradise, for Christ's sake.
Right. She ended up in bird in hand.
A bird in the hand is one in the bush, huh?
That's right.
All right, we got to go before we get ourselves in trouble. Episode 62. Everybody have a great, safe, and very enjoyable start to summer and Memorial Day weekend. We shall be back next week. Make sure you stop and enjoy when you're on the boardwalk some Fudge Kitchen. I think it's 8th Street in Ocean City and all over the Jersey Shore and many more. So everybody, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Leave us a 5-star rating and review. Subscribe on YouTube. Hit the bell. And we'll talk to you next week on a brand new episode of the